Well, hello again. Charlie Alpha Steve here. Sorry, it's been a few weeks since I last did a podcast or whatever you want to call these things. But I have had other things to do. Let's just rewind a little bit. I wanted to talk to you a bit about the training school. So when you join the police, you're expected to be trained in all matters that you're likely to come across, and this involves a fair few weeks training. In fact, there was a week at Maidstone at police headquarters. This was basically an indoctrination, and then 18 weeks down at Ashford Police Training Centre, which is no longer there, but it was very nice. It was very near the Bybrook Tavern, if any of you know where that is. Anyway, so I arrived at the training centre along with a whole load of other young recruits, and we were shown to our accommodation, which was an accommodation block, and you shared probably about 6 to 8 of you in a room. You had a single bed, a cupboard, and in the cupboard were a set of drawers, communal wash area, and it was okay. It was comfortable, no complaints. So the first day we were all there in our uniforms, and we were explained, or it was explained to us, what was going to happen. So we were going to spend most of the time in the classroom. We'd be doing things called practicals, where you would be simulating incidents as if you were out on the streets, and with the sergeants acting as offenders and members of the public. And every morning you were to be on the parade ground at the crack of dawn to march up and down and be inspected by the commandant. So you would bull your boots so that you could see your face in them. You would crease your trousers until you could almost cut your finger on the crease, and get rid of all the fluff and march up and down with your white gloves on. And then you'd be inspected, and then you'd be dismissed, and you'd go off to your first lesson. And the lessons were very good, very thorough, and on the whole enjoyable, but there were exams every week, so there was a little bit of pressure, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, before the parade, one was expected to do a cross-country run, and so we all turned up in the morning, crack of dawn again, for a cross-country run. And I came out in my shorts and plimsolls, and I was busting to go to the loo. So I basically went back into the block, and when I came out, they'd all gone. And I had no idea which way they'd gone. So I thought, what am I going to do? So I sort of wandered around for a bit, and eventually I thought, well, I can't just stand here. So I ended up secreting myself in a bush near the main road where this all took place. And I stayed in the bush until they all returned, and then I simply joined in on the back, last. I was always last. Joined in, and nobody was any the wiser. And I did this every day. Excuse me 1 second while I negotiate this mud. I did this every single day for 18 weeks. Never once did a cross-country run, which was good because I wasn't very fit in those days, so it wouldn't have done me any good. And so that was the first thing that I learnt. Bit of deception. So anyway, first of all, one of the practicals that we had to do, again, which I will remember to my dying day, we were doing road traffic, and it was time for a really nice guy who unfortunately is not with us anymore, Mick Pepper. He was a great bloke. It was his turn to be the policeman in the practical, and it was road traffic, and we'd learned all about, cars and what they should have, what they shouldn't have. And So we're all standing out on the playground, Mick in uniform, and round the corner comes one of the sergeants in this old banger that they got from somewhere or other. And so Mick stops it, and we're all gathered round. "Good afternoon, sir," says Mick. "Is this your vehicle?" And the bloke said, "Yeah, that's right." "Oh, right. Can I take your name, sir?" He said, "Yeah, all right, it's Smith. John Smith." "Ah, right, sir. And where do you live, Mr. Smith?" "Why?" was the reply. So Mick said, "Well, it's part of my job. I need to know." So the guy in the car, sergeant, said, "Yeah. Why?" And this went on for some time before we realised that he was talking about Wye, W-Y-E in Kent. And so that was the first lesson. So, yeah, as I say, Mick had said, "Yeah, what's your name?" "Smith." Mick said, "One F or two." So it was quite, funny. Anyway, there's no wipers on this car. In fact, there wasn't much of anything. So Mick says to him, "Well, sir, it would appear that you haven't got any wipers." And the bloke said, "Yeah, I have." He said, "Look." So he reached down and pulled out this wiper on a bit of broom handle and demonstrated how he could reach out the window and just wipe out the, any rain. "Okay," said Mick. "And also washers?" "Oh, yeah, no problem." So he then produced a fairy liquid bottle with water, reached around, squirted it, and so it went on. And this was really part of the course, and it was very amusing. Thoroughly enjoyed it all, and it did prepare you for life in the real world. So I'm just taking in the views. Never been down this footpath before, and it's very pleasant. So yeah, so that was that one. It's very short and sweet, and there was a few more things that happened at training school. I'll be covering those as time goes by. Thanks for listening. Once again, Charlie Alpha Steve signing off, over and out. God bless. Take care.